What's up, everyone? As the youngsters say nowadays, which I don't get. It's been a minute since the last episode of Talking from the Cheap Seats. As always, I am Rumble,
I am the Gazoo.
and we're here to talk sports better.
Than you.
Exactly. As I said, I don't understand that phrase. It's been a minute. A minute, 60 seconds. The lingo nowadays is kind of backwards, if you ask me, especially with that right there.
But you know what, though, kid? Think about it, though, right? We're from Boston. We say, yeah, we're going up to Florida.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a ride up to Florida, right? When we're the ones that are north. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're riding down to Florida. Yeah. I get you.
It's just the lingo. Yeah, it's been a minute. That's the new lingo now.
Yeah, brother. Yeah. So it's been basically 3 weeks. The both of I had some vacation things going on.
And then
we're both involved right now in the high school sports picture.
Too, for me. Yeah, and I think you too, right?
Right now it's football, high school football, and I am doing fall baseball. My kids, 6-year-olds, 6 through 8-year-olds. So
good.
Kind of fun.
Yeah, I got Lexi in her senior year of high school soccer. Then we got the little one doing town soccer and club soccer. I kid you not, through October 28th.
Wow.
Every day of the week, and I mean every day of the week, there is something to do with soccer, whether it's my oldest, my youngest, every day, 7 days a week through October 28th.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. You know what? As parents and as athletes, former athletes, we're going to miss it when it's over. So,
yeah.
But anyways.
My schedule right now, as we'll let everybody know, we're putting it all out on the line. I'm 5 days a week with football. Then I drive an after-school athletic bus. So I'm taking kids from soccer, volleyball practice. It leaves at 6. The route takes me about an extra 2.5 hours. Right. So right now, I'm putting in 12.5 to 13-hour days. I'm at the school by 8.
Right.
Yep. Then I sit around for about 45 minutes. But, I'm preparing for practice. Then we're on the field till 5:30, 5:45. The bus takes off at 6. I'm not walking in the house till 8:30. And as you said, Saturday morning for me is a soccer game for my son.
I got the shirt on right now.
Yeah.
My dog.
Me too.
Yep, there it is.
So my son plays soccer on Saturdays, and then we have double hit of fall baseball Sunday afternoons, man. So absolutely. And that's probably one of the main reasons why people say they ain't talking sports yet. This is one of the main reasons why what influenced our lives as Boston sports fans, not only growing up and playing sports competitively, but it was the same thing that got our interest into talking sports, watching sports as kids, floating through the Boston Herald, the Boston Globe, and checking the box scores out in our dinosauric age of loving sports. So getting to come to these people on this type of platform, whether it's one person or 100 people, it's kind of cool because I never would have thought in a million years that we'd be able to talk sports shit in such an open forum.
Well, speaking of talking sports shit in such a great forum, I'm going to take you on a journey. And we're going to journey down to Foxborough, to Gillette Stadium. Let's open up our discussion with none other than the 1-1 England Patriots. You and I last spoke just before the start of the season. It's been a couple weeks. 1-1. Going this week, heading at home for the home opener. Lots of what-ifs going on right now with these New England Patriots. The offense doesn't look like they're gelling. Looks like there's a lot of stupid mistakes. I think part of it, I just don't. I'm not sure if again, a lot of it's coming down to there's gonna be a lot of blame, as you can tell, and you listen to the radio as much as with giving it to Matt Patricia, who's never been an offensive coordinator. And I think you're seeing like, here's the thing, right? Quick recap.
Go ahead.
Opening drive of the Miami game, the Patriots looked like they would have been juggernauts. Then the rest of the game happened and proved that the opening series for the Patriots was nothing but a fluke.
And it was written by Bill Belichick, the head coach,
Right,
just to let you know that.
Then you get into the game with Pittsburgh. And notoriously, the Pittsburgh games have never really been high-scoring games. But I'm seeing mental mistakes, mental errors here and there. They thought they played a better game, but I think if Pittsburgh had a better quarterback, I think we'd be 0-2.
All right. So what I'm about to say is going to shock you, but in certain terms, you'll rewind what I say and you'll be like, wow, this dude's fucking right. And excuse the expletives. But coaching football, and especially since I'm coaching the offensive side of the ball, and I'm learning from a master of deception. And he's made me he's made me look at all sports differently since encountering this individual. And Mac Jones, to me right now, is proving to me as a transitional quarterback for the New England Patriots. And it's much to the chagrins and the words of one Teddy Bruschi basically said last year that he doesn't believe that Mac Jones is the 10-year generational quarterback, that Mac Jones is basically a guy that's going to keep the seat warm for a guy that's going to come in here that will be the prototypical guy for the next 10 to 15 years. And the one reason why I'm starting to believe this, Mac Jones is a very, very, very smart quarterback, hugely intellectual-wise. So which means he makes a good coach, or one day would be a good coach, or the perfect backup. I believe the arm strength is starting to show its true colors. We started to see it last year towards the end of the season when we got into the windy weather. We should have known that when we went to Buffalo and we got that pathetic 3-0 loss that around New England. We paraded that shit like it was a Super Bowl victory. But let's just call a spade.
Right? No?
Yeah, I believe whatever it was.
Loss.
No, we beat them in Buffalo, that wind game.
Yeah.
So, but there was no passing attempts. We, basically, and then we seen it towards the end of the season, especially when it came into play in Foxborough with the weather. And that's one thing that Brady was able to master. And we got to get out of the comparison of Brady. But Drew Bledsoe could throw the ball in the cold weather. The quarterbacks that have been somewhat successful in New England here have had the strong arm. And I just don't believe at this time that Mac Jones, with all the offseason training he did, I believe that arm strength is still suspect. And here is a key reason why. Not only Bill Belichick, but Matt Patricia both came out and said the two balls that Mac Jones has thrown up, them air balls, the 50-50 balls, are designed throws. Now, when you dissect that, a designed throw downfield for a 50-50 ball all the time computes to me not only can't receivers get the separation, but Mac Jones ain't got the arm strength to realistically complete that separation on the pass. And another thing that's going to hinder him is, yes, listen, Patricia's brilliant, Judge is brilliant. I believe what's going to hinder this is a person that's not experienced in that offense to help teach the offense more, not only just to the key players such as the quarterbacks, the running backs, and the wide receivers, but the offensive line is huge. And another formula that the Patriots are trying to use, and they've come out and said it, is this ain't Bill Parcells' era where you can win 14 to 7 ball games and rely on a run game to chew up 7 minutes and 30 seconds. This is the new NFL, and as you can see, the passing game is so wide open. And with that being said, I just don't believe at this time the Patriots, if and to say this, if TJ Watt was there, we'd be 0-2 right now, buddy.
All right, so I'm gonna agree on some of the things you said. I do agree. I agree if TJ Watt was there, it's 0-2. I agree that the game has changed. You cannot win a game 14-7. You can't. I will agree that Belichick is a genius, but I'm not going to agree that Mac Jones is a better Andy Dalton, is what you're kind of saying what he is, and he's not. I believe Mac Jones has the ability to be a top 10 quarterback in this league. With what he has for weapons, he has Mac Jones. I will say this. You talked about arm strength. Tom Brady had nothing for arm strength his first 4 to 5 years.
I know, and I've said that. I've said that before.
Tom Brady took 4 to 5 years to grow his arm strength, and you didn't see Brady's arm strength really until he got the receiver to show it and showcase it, which was Randy Moss. Everything before that was designed for Brady for the shorter passes, the quicker passes,
Yep.
the out routes.
Different offense. That's why right now with the offensive change.
It was a different offense. It was a Charlie Weiss offense.
Yep.
Now then we went to a Josh McDaniels offense.
Technically, it's the Ron Earhart offense, and Weiss and McDaniels both ran versions of it.
And so did Bill O'Brien.
Yes.
Which is not what Mac Jones played in college.
No, they played RPO at Alabama.
Right, which is more of the Shanahan offense. Now, do I think Mac Jones could be the next 10, 15, 20-year quarterback? I disagree with you. I say yes, he can. But I think he's not going to be that quarterback without a true offensive-minded, offensively talented coach and someone who has ran an offense before. Matt Patricia is an offensive line coach, but he was never the person to run it. Neither was Joe Judge.
Yeah.
And neither one of them are showing.
Joe Judge was just a quarterback in college. Right. That's it. But I mean, just look at Kevin O'Connell, the new coach of the Vikings, went from the offensive coordinator to, you know what I mean, to now being the coach of the Vikings. So, I mean.
But hear me out. Just let me finish real quick.
Yeah.
Is, I'm going to point out the things that Mac Jones does well. Okay? Mac Jones, he doesn't get happy feet. It doesn't look like he gets scared in the pocket. He's a hybrid pocket passer who can move his feet. He reminds me, and I'm not saying, and I say this visually, not talent-wise. He reminds me of a Tom Brady type-esque quarterback, sits back in the pocket, reads. He's much slippier, whatever.
Yeah. He's more elusive.
He's more elusive, and he's quicker with his feet. He's still not fast by any means.
Yeah.
But I think one of two things need to happen, and one of two things are going to happen for Mac Jones to be successful. Number one, either next year, Belichick is still here, and they bring in a true offensive coordinator who has run the offense that he is used to. Or the second thing is going to happen. And I'm going to put it out there on the line right now. You may agree, you may disagree. But if the Patriots do not go to the playoffs this year, it is a definitive likelihood Belichick either steps down as a coach, leaves the organization, if he does that, or he is let go by Robert Kraft, because it will be now going on 4 years post Brady, no playoff wins, to which he sold himself to Bill Robert Kraft and said, I am the winner here, not Tom. Tom wins for me, but I am the person winning. And Tom Brady has shown in 3 years, and I'm just going to point it out, that is not the case. Belichick has won nothing. He has gotten to the playoffs once in 3 years and has lost.
Yeah.
Sorry, in the 2 years since Brady's been gone, this is year 3. I'm going to tell you what I think, and I think that the best thing I personally believe for Mac Jones is a different head coach.
Yeah.
And I will tell you who that head coach is. And I've said his name before, and I'll say it again. Because you can't bring in some young kid.
No.
You can't bring in someone who's not skilled.
Yeah.
This is not the type of organization that will work in. With this
He's not coming here.
It would be Sean Payton.
He ain't coming here.
You never know.
He's not. Listen. No matter what Mike McCarthy does, if the Dallas Cowboys do not go to the Super Bowl, Mike McCarthy is fired. Sean Payton will end up being the new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And it's not because I'm a Cowboys fan, but it's because
he's a Texas guy. I know that.
Okay. And Jerry Jones would love to have him. So now, this is where I wanted to. I am a Mac Jones fan. I wear his shirt. I have his socks. Mac Jones will never lose you a game because of his brain. But in all honesty, I don't believe in him as he's going to win you, like him himself win you many games. But on the flip side of the coin, he's not going to lose you games because of his brain, if that makes any sense to you at all.
No, it does. All right, so
you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
I agree with you.
I'm one of the ones when we discussed this before. I said he plays the same way as Brady. It was a dink and dunk. They had these special screens. It was, as we call, pick routes and rub routes. And that was the Patriots style offense. So, yes, what I believe now, and I'm starting to get on board with you guys, is the changing of the offense. Mac Jones was getting the Patriots style of offense.
He was.
I can understand if you don't want to use the fullback and you want to make it revolutionary. But to take away and make it a whole different scheme when no one there has the experience of teaching it, and it's like you're going on YouTube in a meeting room to say, this is what needs to be done. It don't matter that Matt Patricia's a rocket scientist. It don't matter that Joe Judge is a former quarterback. Matt Patricia has experience being on the offensive line. When you're an offensive line coach or any offensive coach or defensive coach, you are part of the weekly 3-hour meeting for the game plan. So to say they don't learn the scheme I'll be honest with you. It's ridiculous to say that to a certain extent. But can you master something that you just watch or learn how to call plays on something you just watch? No, everybody's right on that. It takes experience. The one thing why Matt Patricia may be able to succeed at this, and this is because my head coach said this to me, his first 10 years out of his 25 years of coaching football, he was a defensive coordinator. He coached 2 guys in Compton, Richard Sherman and the other dude that was on the Legion of Boom. He was the defensive coordinator for them guys, okay? Yep. He said what made an easier transition for him at offense was Now he's calling plays. When he was on the other side of the ball,
we talked about this.
He was coming up with the schemes to stop those style of offenses. So he didn't say, "Oh yeah, I knew how to call the plays right away," but he said it was a lot easier for him to adapt to it because after a while, he's like, "Wow, I used to come up with the scheme on the reverse." And yes. So listen, man, I don't think it's an overnight process with the Patriots, but this ain't Cincinnati. This ain't Detroit. This is Beantown, Boston, Mass. You have everybody wants to win.
Hey, real quick.
Yep.
Mike King. What's up, Mike? Mike left us a chat comment. What's up, brother?
What's up, Mike?
So I'm going to put it to you this way. And I'm just going to touch on a couple of things, then we got to move on.
Yeah, brother.
Right? You have a offensive coordinator benching what is arguably probably the best target that Mac Jones has in Kendrick Bourne.
I disagree with best target. Jacoby Myers is
let me finish.
His best target. But Bourne is second.
Kendrick Bourne is your best target to go down the field, not Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
Number 2, Kendrick Bourne is got phenomenal yards after catch.
He's a yak guy. You're absolutely right.
Okay?
100% agree.
Okay, and I think that the difference between you have an offensive line that is not built for the Shanahan offense. Smaller, quicker offensive linemen, but you're trying to do it with guys, and I just don't think people are buying in.
No,
I hate to say it. I think Bill Belichick's. I mean, I just don't think the mystique of we're going to play for Bill Belichick.
No,
I don't think it's there anymore. And I think this weekend, and I'm predicting it now, they're going to get their doors blown off.
Yes, they'll be 1-2. They'll be 1-2. So listen,
they're a 3-point underdog.
Would you agree on this? If they had kept the same offensive scheme, would you have more faith in Patricia and Judge on that side of the ball? Only because the players know the playbook. And nothing.
Thinking about it, I would have more faith.
And think of this. Food for thought.
Offensive coordinator.
Food for thought. The one thing why I'd be more confident, they can go back and revert, and they can read how Josh McDaniels used to script his stuff. That's what I'm doing for the coach this year. I write every offensive play.
Yep.
And I study it, and I'm starting to and the the first 5 to 10 plays for us, it's a feeler. We don't care if we go down one score because it gives us kind of an advantage on how to adjust to certain things.
Agreed.
So I'm starting to look at football from a whole different way, even though I played it at an extensive level.
Yep.
So with that being said, I'm a Mac Jones fan, man. I don't think that the reason why I say what I say is because in today's NFL, if you can't make all the throws, and you're especially in New England, when you go into the cold weather, you need to be able to throw that ball, brother. You know it as well as I do.
I do. I'm gonna end. I'd like to end it on this. There's only 5 quarterbacks in the league right now, and I mean it. 5 quarterbacks that can actually, I think, go out and win you a game. Other than that, I think there are a lot of quarterbacks that are Mac Jones.
I want to hear you 5.
Patrick Mahomes will win you a game. Josh Allen has proved he'll win you a game. Aaron Rodgers can and will win you a game.
But not a big playoff game.
No, but he will win you a game. He can't win you a game with this.
Yeah.
Tom Brady can and absolutely will win you a game. 5th quarterback that can go out and actually win you a game in the NFL. If you're going to put me on the spot right now, I'm going to have to say
Justin Herbert.
He's who I'm thinking.
Brother,
I'll say this much. I will say that Russell Wilson, given a better head coach, can win you. That wasn't Russell Wilson, bro. That was his coach.
His coach sucks. They don't know how to call plays.
But I would say Justin Herbert, and that's
Here's another thing, just to tell you this: how many play action pass plays have the Patriots had in the first 2 weeks?
Is it pretty close to this?
Absolutely. Who was one of the top 5 play action pass quarterbacks last year in the NFL?
Mac Jones.
Absolutely.
I know
End
that.
it right there.
So, all right, switching gears. So the Red Sox season is done. Pretty much, it's almost over. I don't even want to talk about the season now. I don't care. I will just say I was right all along about this team.
And I just didn't want to lose the faith, man. I thought they were going to try and be one of these teams that could prove people wrong, and they weren't.
I'm a Bruins guy. I never stopped believing. You didn't lose the faith. It's all right. It happens. We all make mistakes. But here's the question I pose to you. As the Red Sox guy, what needs to happen to make a change next year? Are we talking about removal of Alex Cora? Is it
absolutely cut your tongue off?
Let me finish. Do you get rid of Alex Cora? Do you get rid of Hein Bloom?
Yeah.
Do you get rid of both? Or do they both stay? And if that's the case, what does this team need? Because we know we're going into this offseason is going to be very, very highly watched.
All right.
Given Rafael Devers and Xander Bogaerts contracts, their talks. We don't even have to go down that road. You and
I'm going to tell you some rumors that I have heard. Okay?
I'm listening. Let's hear it.
So, in a scenario, Bogaerts leaves. Devers hear me out.
Yep.
Devers gets traded for prospects. Okay? Listen. We're pissed right now. Pissed. We go out, we sign, and Mike is going to be pissed at this. But there's been numerous.
Oh, yeah, and I've heard this, Aaron Judge.
Numerous reports.
Yep. Well,
number one would be Aaron Judge, along with Justin Turner and Justin Verlander on a 2-year deal.
I don't think. Oh, all right. So first things first. Let me go back to you. So first thing I said, do you fire Alex Cora? You said no.
Okay. Listen, you don't fire Cora. So my best scenario is if you don't fire Bloom. Okay.
Okay.
And Bloom lets these guys go. When you got 3 of Boston's biggest beat reporters, and one being John Tomasi, who is usually spot on everything he says. That's, you know what I mean? It's just like Mike saying, oh, Xander Bogaerts is going to be the shortstop for the Yankees. Mike, of course it hurts my little Red Sox heart.
Yeah, but he ain't going to be the shortstop.
I understand that. Hear me out. So it's probably hurting Yankees fans like Mike. Oh, my God, Aaron Judge ain't going to go to the Red Sox. If he's offered the right fucking money, he'll go anywhere, okay? And number one reason is he's 30 years old and often injured. Yes. Is he about to break a home run record? Could he be the first Triple Crown winner in almost 40 frickin' years? Yes. But if the Red Sox throw him $300 million for 5 years, Aaron Judge will be the DH for the Boston Red Sox. Justin Turner is one of the best younger players in the league. What a replacement.
Wait, isn't Justin Turner the one that had the issues this year? The shit he was saying in the locker room. Was that him?
Justin Turner, I'm sorry. Yeah, Justin Turner.
Yeah, he's the guy that was on the Yankees, right?
No.
All right. I'm just wondering, who was the guy? I thought it was Justin Turner, the guy that was saying like the stupid shit. And had
no.
Okay, all right.
He wasn't a Yankee. I believe I believe it's Justin Turner. He's either on the Los Angeles Dodgers or the Washington Nationals.
Okay.
But it's a really high-profile player that could take. He plays third and second base.
Plays for the Mets.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe it is that guy. But
yeah, he used to play for the Dodgers.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's a real good player.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're talking about offering Justin Verlander upwards of $100 million for 2 years.
Well, I'm not going to make that deal. And no way am I paying a pitcher $50 million over 2 years. Not happening.
The $100 million would be based on incentives. I think the contract ultimately would be 75.
So what do the Red Sox? The question was, all right. So you're saying that the Red Sox ultimately need to take a run at Aaron Judge, and a run at Justin Verlander and at Justin Turner.
Yes.
But you think
if
let me finish. But first things first. Should the Red Sox let Bogaerts walk?
Absolutely no. My scenario was based upon Bogaerts and Devers leaving. Okay.
Is there a scenario
that's not what I want?
All right, hear me out. Is there a scenario where, like all likelihood, Bogaerts is gone?
Yes, because I'm kind of believing right now, to save faith. Yeah. I believe that they are going to throw Bogaerts money, because when push comes to shove, there hasn't been a generational style Boston Red Sox like Xander Bogaerts since Carl Yastrzemski.
Okay, let me finish though. What about Rafael Devers? Because technically Rafael Devers is probably the more valuable player.
Oh, of course.
Okay, so is there a scenario? Do you envision a scenario?
I want both or none.
Here's what I think. Cora stays, Heimblum needs to go. I think at the end of the day, the failure of this team is on Heimblum.
Without a doubt.
Because of management. But management is not going to take the fall. They're going to have Heimblum take the fall. But I think that he needs to go. And I personally think that you do everything you can to dump Sale's contract. JD Martinez needs to go.
Oh, without a doubt.
And I personally think that you make a run at Bogaerts, you make a run at Devers, and you make a run at Aaron Judge. I think you make a run at all three. And you see what you can get. I think at the end of the day, I think in all likelihood, Xander Bogaerts is gone. And I think Rafael Devers stays. I think Bogaerts is gone. And I think they're gonna try to sell us on the 1-2 punch, because they're gonna go after Aaron Judge. Although there is another player you didn't mention. Shohei Ohtani.
Who's not available, I thought, till next year.
But do the Red Sox pull back, hold back, not spend a lot, and run at Ohtani?
You really have to convince him, because can I tell you something?
He's a West Coast guy, and he's got the Japanese connection. Yeah.
Well, it's
Korean connection.
Wow. Paige just showed up at AEW.
You knew it was coming. It's all right. We're gonna get
all right. So, anyways, hear me out. Ohtani, rumor had it that the Yankees actually offered him better money.
And but he wants to stay on the West Coast.
Well, no, when he first came to MLB, the Yankees offered him better money, and he signed with the Angels, because it's not just being on the West Coast, but it's a closer flight to Japan.
Well, that's what I just said.
I see him, and this is my honest opinion. Yeah. He either goes, he stays on the West Coast, and
San Diego.
He either goes San Diego, Dodgers, or right now the hot team is the Seattle Mariners, who's owned by Nintendo.
Right, and to follow in the footsteps of Ichiro.
Yes.
So, all right. So to end it, I agree. I think the Red Sox need to make a run. I think the common denominator here is try to keep some of your own guys, make a run at Aaron Judge. who is and was, and Mike's going to hate it, but it's the truth, grew up a Red Sox fan. He said he grew up a Red Sox fan.
No, he didn't. He was paid to say that. They gave him $100,000.
All right, switching gears. Quick. Let's talk Celtics. Let's give 5 minutes to each one of them. And
right now.
We're going to do a big wrestling talk. All right, let's talk Boston Bruins. I think it was a great thing they did. Zdeno Chara signed the one-day contract, officially retired as a Boston Bruin, as he should, and he will have his number retired, no doubt in my mind. And Bruins are in camp, so I'm excited. You know, word has it that the Bruins are excited this year, and I obviously can't say much now, but it'll be interesting to see how the first 2 months play out. I think the Bruins will be grinders. I think they'll be contenders. And then, you know, under Montgomery, they may explode with their offense. So let's see what happens. But again, big talk. You know, the big thing was Big Z, you know, retiring a Bruin as he should.
Yeah, I totally agree. Thank you, Zdeno Chara. You know, I'm not going to say you was a Ray Bork, but like you really did help fill the footsteps to be a dominating player, like in the traditional form of a Ray Bork.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? There'll never be another number 77. There'll never be another Espo or a Bobby Orr. But I mean, traditional in that defensive mold as a leader of the team for the Boston Bruins, Zdeno Chara definitely personified what it is to be a Boston Bruin and where the spoke to be. I greatly appreciate everything he's done. And like I said, I believe that if the Bruins can stay 500 or a little better, and
they'll be okay.
Yeah, and once they're healthy, I believe that, you know, it's anything is possible because it's the tournament that you get ready for. And if you get hot in that tournament, which is the Stanley Cup playoffs, it's anybody's cup. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, man, I'm extremely excited to see what's in store for the Bees.
So speaking of anything is possible, former Celtic, one of my favorite of all time, even though he was there a short time, Mr. Kevin Garnett said that. But speaking, let's transition to the Celtics. Talk today, obviously we've heard that Robert Williams had surgery, out 6 to 8 weeks. You brought this up when we talked pre going live. So question you posed, and let's talk about it real quick. There are a couple of centers out there that are rumored to have maybe step in that they could sign. Or you said, should they let the younger guys? So who are the centers you think that are rumored that may be able to come to this team?
I wish I had written the 4 down, but I'll cover the young thing. And listen, like Sherrod Blakely said, before Robert Williams went down, there was questions on whether the Celtics needed a big man. And we had talked about this. And there was rumors of one of the Lopez brothers coming to Boston. 3 centers I remember. The 4th one is a younger center. I forget his name, but he played for he was on the Nets along with one of the centers I'm about to mention. So the centers that were projected was Dewey Howard, LaMarcus Aldridge. There was another dude, and then you got Boogie Cousins. So the one that makes sense is what they said, which is Peter Forsberg, who's a really good insider for the Celtics, was saying that he looks at it being somebody who is an easy plug-in, that has familiarity with Ime Udoka, and that would all signs would point to the 36-year-old LaMarcus Aldridge. who formerly played in San Antonio. Last year was part of the debacle of the I called them the New Jersey Nets, the Brooklyn Nets. I've always been enamored by what could Boogie do, but Boogie looks like he's really on a downward spiral at 31 after blowing out his both ACLs in back-to-back years, or it was an ACL and then a Achilles. I would love to have him, but do I believe the attitude is right for Boston? Probably not.
No.
I think the one guy beside LaMarcus Aldridge that everybody forgets about, and it is, I would love to see Dwight Howard come to the Boston Celtics. I believe Dwight Howard still has some stuff left in the tank. He averaged 16 points a game last year. He averaged 35% from the 3-point line, okay? And he averaged 85% on free throws. And the thing is, he hasn't been a starter, and he's been getting them numbers. 4.5 rebounds a game, 16.5 points a game. I think that's a great guy who's won an NBA championship, who's on the backside of his career, and I believe could be a great spell for not only Robert Williams, but Al Horford. When Al isn't going to play every night, okay? Al is going to need a night off. That's going to be a great little lineup once in a while to have a Robert Williams and a Dwight Howard. It could be pick your poison right there. And then let the younger guys flow in behind that. I would really like to see Dwight Howard be that center that the Boston Celtics bring in.
Okay. All right. Fair enough then. All right. I can support that. Well, going from basketball, let's go to the place they called the squared circle, my friend.
And it's more of our expertise to a certain extent.
Absolutely. So a lot has gone on in 3 weeks, and there is more to come. All I can say right now, utterly excited that I'm going to go watch live for the first time in God knows how long, a pay-per-view, and I get to see War Games live at the Survivor Series.
So, well, I'd like to just stop you right there.
But I'm just saying, I'm just touching on it.
Yeah.
Great.
Hear this out. Every point you come up with, I'm going to give you something. So that being said, yeah, that's great. War Games. The thing is, and it's to me, they got to up the level of what War Games theoretically should be.
Well, I think you're going to
I think there needs to be a little blood. I think there needs to be a little excitement up in that ring. It's just, and I'm sorry, but other promotions, and I understand I say it all the time, the WWE is geared more towards the young kids. They're
now
yes.
TV 14.
Still young kids, as far as I'm concerned.
It's appealing to all ages, but I think you're seeing a much edgier product in the last couple of weeks.
I'm just saying, I will be real. Listen, if there ain't a little blood in that match, it's in the words of Walter Killer Kowalski, it's the one place you have to bleed.
Agreed.
Buddy, they need to bring back a little bit of that. Even if they put it on Raw, bring back the old school X that says censored. Remember when we was kid when Blackjack Mulligan would it's Mike, and you have them put it over the X. We're sorry for that, young kids at home, blah blah blah, and put it over. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's ways that you could certainly bring it back that's right for the little kiddies out there, but yet doesn't insult the intelligence of the wrestling fan.
Agreed. So let's talk about what has gone on specifically more so. Well, let's start with the big.
Will you answer my question and then you talk about it? Okay. How about that? The better program right now still is SmackDown. If you're going to sit here and say that you watched the last 30 minutes of that goddamn main event on Monday Night Raw.
That was one Monday Night Raw, though. But
and the Monday Night Raw before that wasn't all that. The Monday Night Raw before that wasn't all that. The past 2 weeks have been kind of off. They have been, dude.
I think yes. I think if you're gonna ask me long term, the answer is yes. SmackDown has still been the better product, but I do believe Raw was in such a shit show. It was like this, brother.
I totally agree.
Raw is coming up. I mean, you're getting a level of true, of what I would call realistic booking with Seth and Arcade Bro. You're starting to see storylines, better storylines, and good talent develop. Like, I am excited to see what's going to happen with Finn and AJ. I'd love to see a feud. Ultimately, you can see the long-term goal. Dominic's going to retire his father. I would assume eventually he'll retire his father. That'll be a hell of a story. Obviously, the big story that's coming down right now, and everybody better be prepared for it because it's going to happen. You're going to have Bray Wyatt returning to the WWE. I love Triple H's subtle little Easter eggs that he's throwing out there that people are starting to pick up on house shows, on a live TV event. Now, all of a sudden, Alexa Bliss has this, like, just not herself type of thing. I'm obviously still, to answer your question, SmackDown overall is still the better product, I have to admit, but Raw is consistently growing in the right steps.
I turned the last half hour off, and it's because, and I'm not even going to lie,
let me
the women's division on Monday Night Raw, and I know Mike is going to hate me when I say this, but that women's division is so vanilla and has no true real heels that you can take serious.
Yeah,
so no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Who? Bailey's a joke with that ding-dong bullshit. Asuka's a joke with the face painting. Enough with the dancing. You have taken a person that was undefeated for so freaking long, and knowing right now that women's division is treading water, and I'm saying this in the words of Bully Ray, that it is so noticeable right now with no Becky, no Charlotte, no Sasha Banks, that they are just treading. Bianca Belair is a great baby face, but right now she is a waste at being the champion because there aren't true heels to feed her on a constant level without having those. And hear me out. Let me finish. Okay. If you remember when we was kids, Bob Backlund, Hulk Hogan, the reason why they were successful baby faces is because they were fed true heels. Now, you say to me, Jay, but they do what they should have did. And please go to Busted Open Radio, go to the Monday edition with Bully Ray, Tuesday edition, they talk about it. And I truly believe this. What they needed to do was pull Asuka off for about a month. Send her like fake back to Japan. Have her encounter one of these master Japanese trainers and they yell at her for losing her way and becoming a joke in the American wrestling style. She should have come and then let her come back. And she comes back as the Blade Saw, the true Asuka, the Asuka that was like the queen of strong style. If you let Asuka come back at that character and let that character roll up against Bianca Belair, you have money right there. Bailey with the ding dong and the crappy shit there's too many jokesters as heels in the WWE. And Bianca Belair, it's a total sin for her that right now her title reign is kind of non-important. Whereas in a person like Bailey with her goofy crap is a much better person being chased for that belt. If
Well,
that
I'm
makes
going to tell
any
you right
sense to
now
you.
that's going to change because WWE is about to do something, and I'm a firm believer of it. And Mike's going to be like, "Oh no, they're not." Oh, he might say that they are. You're probably likely going to see the first ever true Triple Crown Women's Champion. What's going to happen is, and I believe it, Mandy Rose is coming up to the main roster as the NXT Women's Champion, as the UK Women's Champion, and will start a program and defeat Bianca Belair as a true heel, I know, but as a true heel, and that'll be the way to get that title off of her.
It's going on Bailey. It's going on. I'm going to tell you this right now. It's going on Bailey. Yes, it's going on Bailey because what they're trying to do right now, they're trying to create a bloodline in the women's version, and I truly like. I'm a huge busted open person listening right now, and Bully Ray is a huge believer that title goes on Bailey, and that they are trying to build a bloodline type of stable with those women on Monday Night Raw.
So the only stable that you can build to make it a true stable would be to put Bailey, Sasha, and Charlotte together.
And the Four Horsemen.
No. And then you tease Becky, but Becky says, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
And those three are the main heels. Becky is the fighter. And then they bring in Ronda Rousey as the quote-unquote fourth horsewoman or something like that. Wow. But regardless, all right, so what else you got for me, wrestling-wise? Because we still haven't talked about...
I'll say this. I think Triple H has come up with some good things as far as how the wrestling itself is going to go, like matches for the pay-per-view, the concepts for the pay-per-view. But the past couple of weeks, as far as Monday Night Raw goes for me, I believe that the Monday Night Raw story itself like that, like one thing I really liked, obviously, I liked the Riddle aspect. Yeah. I like the fact that Gargano came back out to fuck with Theory. I like...
You gotta like Kevin Owens, what he's doing.
Yes, I like the Pete Dunne stuff. But you had such a good program, and I'm not going to lie, that women's main event for the last 30... Like, I know you could have listened to... I'm sorry, but... You had a pretty decent program going on.
Yeah, but you have to remember that there was a gimmick.
I hear you.
Putting a gimmick into that match. So
I'm going to tell you old school, and I know this is new school, but all I remember is how the show ended, and it ended the absolute drizzling dog shit.
Yeah,
they should have saved a segment for the end and like ended it with like the Riddle and Rollins concept, or come up with something different.
The big picture. That match really was just kind of the placeholder.
It was 30 freaking minutes. It was horrendous.
There are things that happened in the match that had nothing to do with that match, but had to do with a bigger storyline that is beginning to build.
And it still could have been someplace else because no matter what, it sucked. It sucked.
Get it, but that's the match. You got to look beyond the
match.
You got to think story.
Sucked.
I get it.
Sucked.
It ain't the first
two former WWE guys. One on Tuesday, Bully Ray. One on Wednesday, Tommy Dreamer. Both said that the last segment in Raw was horrendous.
I didn't say it was a 5-star match, but
and it could have happened elsewhere because the people involved, especially Asuka doing her dancing and shit, is a freaking joke. They should have ended it on a serious note. I understand that you believe that the 2 minutes of story. I'm just telling you, as a person who started to say I love Raw, I fucking turned the channel for the last 30 minutes because I'm as much as Mike hates Charlotte Flair, without Charlotte and without Becky, the women's division is really like watching paint dry.
Okay, but let's get off the women's division. Let's briefly discuss the Easter eggs that we're getting.
Yep.
People are there. I mean, listen, with there's smoke, there's fire, and
do we have the proof that really he is signed?
No, that's the thing. But there's enough smoke. I believe I've always a firm believer. Whether in this business where there is smoke, there's usually going to be a fire.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be funny if Bad Bunny walks out on Friday night?
It ain't gonna be Bunny.
I know. I put that up though.
I don't think we're gonna see him Friday night. I just think something else happens on Friday night. But there's enough stuff there and enough people around the thing that say he is either signed or signing, that, you know, he's been talked about so much.
Did you hear about the cryptic between the 923 that has to line up now a 924 because that's the day it will be, I believe, or 923
this Friday.
Yep.
It's Friday. It's SmackDown Friday. You know, the people keep saying they see the hourglass. No, that's Karrion Kross, the White Rabbit. He used to go by the name of the White Rabbit, but they're Karrion Kross. You know, something is telling me. I mean, everything that you see with the lights going out at the, they pulled the quote unquote TV gimmick where, you know, went black, the lights went out, this went live shows. They're doing something now. It's, to me, it makes all the sense in the world. It is a prelude in a lead up to the return of Bray Wyatt. What form of Bray Wyatt, I don't know.
What would you like to see?
I personally have said it before, and I'll say it again. He has 3 gimmicks he can use.
Yep.
I would love to see the 3 faces of Wyatt. I would love to see him come back deranged and just, you don't know which version of Bray Wyatt you're getting. Do
me a favor. When you're done with this, it's awesome you said this, because this is what Bully Ray on the Tuesday edition, he said. He basically didn't say the 3 faces, but when the co-host had said, how do you think he's going to come back? And he said, well, I would love to see him come back, but you evolve the Bray Wyatt character on what you believe the original character would have evolved himself into. And then you make him have like a Finn Balor type of persona where it says, you just don't want to see where my mind can go. You don't want me to be that man again. And the Fiend can pop out every once in a while.
That's what I think. That's what
if you and Bully Ray are thinking on the same, and I'm a huge, like I said, I'm going to say it. I'm a huge Busted Open fan. A lot of the things that Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer say, that they've got the legit backstage experience. They think a little different than we do, and it's probably because they was in those meetings.
So I'm excited. I really do hope that's the way it goes. You know, I think it'll be good. Transitioning from WWE to AEW, me and you have not chance to talk about this. Huge drama unfolded. Legitimate drama that a lot of people thought was internet heat or was a shoot heat per se. Like it was supposed to be a shoot that happened, but it was a gimmick.
Yeah.
Moore has come out saying it is not a gimmick. Where do you stand on the whole, is it a gimmick or not a gimmick? Everything going on with inside of AEW with the Bucks, with Kenny Omega, with CM Punk, with Kingston, Kenny Kingston, whatever the fuck his name is.
Eddie Kingston.
Yep. What is your take?
And from what I hear, they released that Hangman Adam Page is no longer there.
Malachi Black has asked for his release, and I saw
he has been released.
Yep, and I do not buy it so he can get mentally clear. I have a feeling it's because his wife is in WWE. He knows he knows that Triple H is going to take care of him. And I think, like, fuck this, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I think that, I personally think, and you're right, I heard Adam Page has been released.
Yep.
Now, I haven't got confirmation, though.
Okay.
So, but your thoughts. Number one, you. Is it a shoot or is it a shoot gimmick?
All right. So, CM Punk, it's noted that a lot of people have said he's a douchebag and he's hard to work with.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
So, the whole backlog of the CM Punk Colt Cabana heat.
We all know about that.
Okay, well, I know about it. I know the true story is the money he got to transition his company, which is Pro Wrestling Tees, that money he got was a loan that CM Punk gave him when CM Punk got. So listen. And the thing is, CM Punk has every right to say what he wants to say because he never asked for a piece of that company, which he could have. He could have said, not only am I going to give you what I need to give you, but I want 25% of the company. Because if you was to get an asset loan, you'd be paying
right, but let's get to the
inflation. As they say.
Colt Cabana had nothing to do with the interview.
No. I'm not saying that, but a lot of it had to do with the fact that when he came into the company, CM Punk, it was rumored that because of him, that's why Colt Cabana got moved to Ring of Honor, because he didn't want to be in quote-unquote the same locker room as Colt Cabana. So a lot of these guys started to talk shit about that, and CM Punk, from what I understand, a brunt of it had to do with people not knowing what the true stories were. So with that being said, a lot of this had to do over controversy that was issues between Punk and Cabana, and it was felt by Punk that these people should just keep their fucking nose where it doesn't fucking belong.
But why call out the Young Bucks? Why call out Kenny Omega? Why start with? I know why he started with Adam Page, because Adam Page kind of shot on him in an interview and on a promo. But
because I guess Omega and the Bucks would never be behind the signing of CM Punk to come to AEW. And they have all felt all along that he was a me person and have called him out backstage upon being a fucking douchebag.
Well, doesn't that kind of coincide also with the signing of CM Punk and then what EVP then ups and leaves? What EVP? Cody Rhodes up and left after investing millions of his own dollars into this company. What does that tell? It tells you that, you know what? I don't buy that, because I have a feeling that Kenny Omega really wasn't around that much at the time he was doing. But you know what? I think the Bucks and Kenny Omega all wanted, and I disagree, I think they all wanted CM Punk for the wow factor. And I think it was Cody Rhodes who didn't. And that may have been the determining factor of him saying, all right, fuck it. You guys aren't listening to me. I'm out. But let's talk about moving forward. Okay, so a massive fight breaks out backstage between Kenny Omega, the Bucks, and then
CM Punk's trainer.
And CM Punk, one of CM Punk's guys. To the point where CM Punk legitimately bit Kenny Omega, and they're showing it. So I'm going to go back to the question. Is it a legit shoot, or is it a working shoot gimmick?
Wow.
Because I'm going to point it to you this way. I've always said to you, reality booking can sell in this business.
Yeah.
And I've always said that, like, legit storylines, like a straight up kind of legit storyline is what this business needs. What we're getting right now is you're getting Kenny Kingston coming out pretty much.
Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, so Eddie Kingston, whatever the fuck his name is. I can't stand him anyways. But out and out calling out particular wrestlers in particular, saying, I don't fucking like him. I don't like him in person. Cesaro, Chris Jericho, CM Punk, and I forget who else he said.
Legit, if he didn't like Chris Jericho for real and was a threat, he'd be fired.
But he said it. He said, I don't like him.
And him and Cesaro were best friends at one point in time.
I know, but they were supposed to have fallen out. Yeah. But you got him coming out saying that shit. You got Moxley kind of being, John Moxley, the guy that you once said was the best wrestler on the planet. I don't want to go back into that. But anyways,
he just won the AEW title over supposedly the best wrestler on the planet, Bryan Danielson.
Well, let's think about that because
and not for nothing, I'll tell you know why he's considered one of the best wrestlers in the world, because the dude was about to take a 3-month vacation, and when all this bullshit happened, he canceled the vacation. His time off, a 3-month vacation, to stay in this company to help keep it going. Well, and when you have a kid that's under a couple of years old, to take 3 valuable months away from that said kid.
Then. So you got these guys talking legit. You got a lot of internet shit going out. You have a supposed fight that broke out backstage. You have a champion who was stripped of his title. You have people saying he should be fired. You have MJF back and ultimately fucking just blowing it right
Told
off.
you, he just beat the shit. Him and that whoever the other kid from the Combat Club is. I can't even Mattis Judas or whatever the fuck his name is. He's so irrelevant that I could care less.
But you have wrestlers.
MJF smacked him out and then smacked Tony Schiavone out.
So you have these guys. So what we're seeing
is reality.
So, but it's reality booking? But is what happened in AEW in the big talk that we've seen? Final time I'm going to ask it. No, with all that said, do you believe it to be a legit shoot?
Okay.
Or is it a shoot gimmick?
Okay, so these are the things I think about on how I dissect this first and foremost. So there's pictures of Kenny already over in Japan with his buddy. And if he's truly suspended,
he can wrestle anywhere though.
I understand that, but he is representing AEW in Japan. That's why he's there. So if you truly suspend someone, why would you send that person and still let them do their tour of Japan, representing a said company that he got suspended from? Number one. So when you start to say, hear me out, let me hear me out.
Debunk that, because you do have to remember, he's suspended as a performer, but he is still an executive vice president.
Yes, and he's performing on these New Japan shows.
Okay, then that answers the question. Okay.
Okay. That's the one thing. And when you just hit me in the head with the Tony Rumble helmet and said, Nitwit, this is probably a work. Number one, because yes, AEW is booking now on it seems to me
more
like
reality.
More reality. So wouldn't it be a fucking thing to see CM Punk not only come back as a fucking ultimate heel because Tony Khan fucked him, but think about how much money CM Punk and Kenny Omega make. That is the type of wrestling match that if Tony Khan is looking to get into a legit stadium, that's the type of match that you could put and headline a card for fucking real. For real.
Well, So you're pretty much you are a believer that it is a
You're making me what you said to me made me think. Yes, AEW storylines are like not for nothing. Tony Khan has taken the page out of the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
And everybody on here knocks him for being fucking Sideshow Bob, when in all reality, this kid could be brighter than what we give him fucking credit for right now. Because with the Bucks and Omega gone and CM Punk, they've been getting millions. They've been getting a million viewers on their Wednesday night program. They're about to experiment with going 2 hours on Friday night this week with that Grand Slam shit, and they're giving some really good matches.
Well,
and right now, I believe probably one of the best young tag teams in the business in the Acclaimed, along with Billy Gunn. Tonight, that crowd blew up. Max Caster is the new John Cena. Thugonomics turned up a dial. And you know why I say that? Because John Cena is Max Caster's biggest fan. He will, like tonight, I guarantee there'll be a tweet on Max Caster's site on Twitter saying what a great rap that was tonight. Cena is a huge supporter of Max Caster.
Well, let me I'll say this much. The fact that we can't definitively make the fact that we're sitting here and we just can't pinpoint whether this is legit or whether it's a shoot tells you they actually are on to something.
They are.
If this is a working shoot, a work shoot, it's great storytelling. If it's not, and it's an actual shoot and legit, it tells you that company's fucking going to go under fast. Because so it's really one of two things. But I think that right now, storyline wise, even if it is legit, because there's no definitive, and it's all it's being talked about, it's generating money, it's generating buzz.
So I'm gonna let you think about this too. From what I understand, there was an emergency meeting made. Moxley, Jericho, Danielson, William Regal all sat with Tony Khan in a private 3-hour meeting. And I'm telling you right now that I believe that's the new thinking brass of AEW right there.
Well, if that's the case, then it was legit. If that is the case, then what we saw with CM Punk and the EVPs was all legit, and that's not a work. And that's the truth.
There was a 3-hour meeting. It was reported on a few different sites, and that guy Ross Sapp, whatever his name is, dude, he's that dude. 99.9% of the stuff he says, and it made ESPN on their Twitter. There was a 3-hour meeting that went down with Jericho, Tony Khan, William Regal, John Moxley, Bryan Danielson.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, William Regal will be gone out of AEW within the year and back with Vince. I mean, back with Hunter. He'll be gone in the year.
Even if right now he's helping write that product and Tony Khan gives him money?
Yep, absolutely. Because I think his heart and his soul is in the WWE. Always has been, always will be. Especially with Hunter. So,
Mickey Biggs, brother, how you doing, man? Great to hear from you.
What's up, Mickey?
So and the thing is, man, I don't think AEW is going anywhere, because if they really were, tonight Tony Khan made a really good move.
No. What I'm saying is
Tony Khan put the belt tonight.
I heard
on the ROH belt on Chris Jericho. So which means they're gonna try to the ROH. They mean business. I don't believe they're going anywhere, man.
They're going. Listen, like I said, it it's not going to happen tomorrow, but if you're having these kind of problems, and the problem is you got talent now wanting to leave AEW.
But when you got a talent like, hear me out. When you got a talent like Moxley and Danielson, who you would think that because Triple H went back, that their minds might sway. They're the hugest supporters of AEW right now.
Moxley and Danielson are not lifers of AEW. They absolutely 100% will finish their career in the WWE.
Bryan Danielson came out the other day and said he doesn't envision himself signing another contract. After AEW's done, he's done.
I don't believe it. I'm telling you, I don't believe it. We're talking about Hunter here. Hunter has a way with a lot of these guys.
Yeah, I get you. So. But as far as it's great to know you're living, brother. I hope everything's all right. You get to come on Saturday night, as we're deeming it. It is Late Night Wrestle Talk with Jason Rumble and the boys. Brought to you by the Gorilla Position Network.
All right, brother. Well, let's. We might as well. We've got a good hour and almost 20 into this. I think we end it with this. Last question. If you had to pick one product to watch right now, who are you watching?
It's hands down. It's hands down WWE programming.
Okay.
Yes, but But can I tell you something? Was AEW interesting tonight with their Grand Slam show? Yes, it was. They changed the entranceway. The atmosphere was great.
Okay.
And with Paige showing up tonight, it just makes that women's division, to me, until Becky, until Charlotte, until Sasha, or they make Asuka relevant again. AEW's women's division right now, to me, is more interesting with the addition of Saray to that lineup.
All right. Okay. All right. I can support that.
Triple H, that she should be in the WWE. Triple H should have fucking resigned her.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe she wasn't.
She is the best women's wrestling talent that I have seen, hands down.
Say that
other than Charlotte, Becky, or Sasha. Yep. If Paige hadn't stopped and got injured,
was. She hasn't wrestled 5 years.
Yes. If it didn't, if her train didn't get halted, I believe she'd be better. Because she was on the way. She was the first girl. She was the first woman in that division to actually say, that wrestled like a freaking man, that was aggressive. Okay. And then I'm not going to forget about Asuka. If you turn Asuka back into a killer, that woman hands down is the best women's wrestler in the world. I don't care what you say. But as a joke, she's average. Yep. Asuka turned up, kicks any one of those girls' ass. Even Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler, another one. A fucking joke. And she's real.
Well,
like if you turn Shayna Baszler heel, there's a good one to go against. You need to turn some of these badasses into badasses. So the sympathetic babyface, because that's what Bianca Belair is. She is Ricky Morton turned up on steroids. That blonde hair babyface that everybody just wants to get behind. You feel what I'm saying? But she doesn't have that classic old school real heel, not a fucking joke heel that's you know what I mean? A real stomp in the mud, kick-ass heel like a Sergeant Slaughter, like a Don Morocco under the tutelage of Mr. Fuji, like Jesse the Body Ventura, like Adrian Adonis when he was Adrian Adonis with the black leather hat. These type of guys. Hulk Hogan when he had a face. King Kong Bundy, brother, the man with the 5. They don't have that.
I get it. But listen, you got to give it time, brother. Just got to give it time.
Yeah.
But all right.
That's what the WWE women's division needs. They need to amp up. They need to repackage their heel division and make them legit heels and not a bunch of pranksters and jokesters. And the one thing I just want to leave it at, and this is just, listen, Mandy Rhodes is great to look at, brother. I'm not going to deny that.
Not that great. I think she's all right, but it's more about,
I'm sorry. I just don't want a diva as the world champion. The only way she makes a good champion to me is she needs like a China in her corner so that, because I don't believe she should legitimately win over legit wrestlers. Like, she is nothing more than a fucking Barbie doll model, and if they're gonna utilize her right to be a champion on either Raw or Smack.
Mike King is all elite. Did you see this?
Yeah.
Wow, well, it's good to hear.
You see him tonight.
Yeah. Oh, so is Jason.
So, and my belief. That's what needs to be done with the WWE women's division. In order for it, they need to rebuild the heel packaging.
All right. Well, let's see what happens. You got to give it time, brother.
All right, brother. It's been a great week. What do you want to say, buddy? Talk.
Daniel Gallinari is injured.
Yep.
For how many weeks?
A whole year.
A whole year for a basketball.
Breaking Celtics news.
Gallinari's out for the year.
Gallinari's out for the year.
All right.
All right, my brother. So once again, it was a successful show, and we proved that we simply just do talk sports better than
you. Definitely better than Mr. Mike King.
Who's all elite.
Yeah.
With that being said.
You know what? They can all be all elite. I'm going to go work for Hunter.
Me too. I'd rather just go down and work for HBK and NXT. Yeah, I'd rather just be able to stay home.
Exactly.
And home ain't bad in Orlando, Florida.
No.
No, I'd be able to go see Brady every week.
Yeah, till the end of the year, and then he retires. And he gets
So
all right, brother.
All right, brother. It's been a great week. When we're talking from the cheap seats, we try to come at you every week, and if possible we can. If possible we can't. But when we come to you, we try to give you a hard-hitting, action-packed show with plenty of sports knowledge from guys who are sitting way up here staring at the ants to give our best analogies.
But you want to know something, Rumble? I'm going to say it. I'll say it for you. Because you're Jason Rumble, and I'm the Gazoo.
And we talk sports better than you. All right, everyone. We'll see you next week. Or maybe the week after that. You'll just have to tune in. Ha, ha, ha. Peace out, everyone.